Munala could only cry as the guard ripped her child from her arms and dragged him away. "Your son has the honor of being chosen to serve in His Majesty's army. You should feel honored." Munala's son thrashed and yelled in the guard's arms, crying for his mother. The surrounding crowd looked on in silent pity. This wasn't the first time King Felvir's army had ripped children from their families to serve among them. By the time his training was complete, the boy would see his mother as nothing more than vermin. That was until the human intervened. The guard noticed a slight disturbance in the crowd behind the sobbing mother. A human emerged, their eyes covered by a hood. The guard looked at the human, shorter than him, lightly armed and armored. They carried nothing but a sword and only had simple levers covering parts of their body. The human looked at Munala, through the tears in her 4 eyes, and tried to get a look at the human's features. But before she had a chance, the human turned away and approached the guard. The guard released the boy to run back to his mother. He thought, "After I make an example of the human, I'll get the little pest back." Unsheathing his sword, the guard walked to the human, ready to make them regret stepping in. The guard thrust his blade towards the human's chest, but before he had a chance to react, the human dodged the attack before making an attempt to backhand the guard, and missing. At least, the guard thought the human missed, before he felt a pain in his neck and the blood running down his chest plate. He could only manage a few faint gasps and steps before collapsing to the ground as a dead man. Munala gazed at the scene in shock. The human never touched their blade but managed to bring down a guard nearly a head taller than them. But she realized that the human had used a blade, just not the blade that would be expected. She saw on the human's wrist a smaller blade, dripping with the guard's orange blood. It wasn't any special trick or move that brought down the guard, it was just simple underestimation by the guard. The human looked back at Munala, hugging her son one last time, before walking off into the stunned crowd. Some days later, Munala was in the trade district when she saw the human at a table in front of a small restaurant. She approached the human to formally give her thanks for saving her family. "1,000 apologies for interrupting your meal, but you were the one that saved my son from conscription. I never had the chance to thank you." The human continued eating in silence, as if Mulan was not there. Is there anything I can do or give you to repay my debt?" The human, a face still obscured by its hood, paused and put down their fork. Munala waited for a response, but instead, the human simply reached for their cup and took a sip of the drink inside. Munala reached for her coin purse and went to put it on the table. "Here, it isn't much, but it's all I have. Please, take it." As she went to put the purse on the table, the human's hand stopped her. Still silent, the human returned to their meal, clearly indicating they had no interest in a reward for their aid. Molana saw that she would get nowhere. She left to return home to the son that human saved, with no intent of a reward.